Heart Solutions. I want to introduce my guests, Miss Veronica Bartolini, Susan Long, and Amaria Sweet. Welcome, ladies. You all look fabulous. I'm excited to have you on the show tonight. We will be discussing how women are used and for what the women's function is in the super soldier programs, my lab, uh, or secret space programs. So we're gonna have an open discussion at the second hour of the show. First, I'm hoping that each of you will take the time to introduce yourself to the listeners, share a little bit about yourself, what your function is, or what you've become aware of in your function being used in these programs. Whatever it is that you feel would be helpful for the listeners. I know that there's a lot of information out there, and we all are in agreement that we've uh, been used in these um, my lab programs and so forth, and we all have different memories, and so nobody's right, wrong, good or bad. There are personal experiences, and I respect everybody's decision to share, and I appreciate your courage in coming forward. So we'll start with you, Veronica. I'm a little off, so I appreciate y'all's patience. Today's been a little hectic for me, but Veronica, do you mind starting, and then we'll move to Susan and Amaria.
Hello, everyone. I'm Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts here in Soma Fusion Live with all of my Super Soldier lady friends that I know were in the unit. I'm still having to remember Aida. However, we're here to talk about so many things. Um, I first recognized that I was taken at like when I was 33 years old. I understood that I was taken since I was a kid, since I was a baby. So Jay Essex and I had a not a regression but a session, and he confirmed that I was taken at 1 year and 8 months. That they took the liquid for my spine, and they made more of me. I have been in so many programs. I named one Crystal Gates, which is a dolphin program. I'm Myra there. I have Sheila the She-Hulk, and Susan is one as well. So is James Rink. So many memories that are coming. I'm grateful for Susan that she was the first one that actually reached out to me, and then that's when I met James and Penny, and then Amaria and Frank, and then it's just been a wild ride, and I'm now learning to just live life to the fullest. Not, Ida, I really appreciate you this morning because you're like, well, we're already here, Veronica. We can't go home, and you're like, let's just do what we came here to do. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun, and I'm transforming my body, and I'm still not done, yo. Peace. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Susan. I met Veronica. I think it's been over 2 years because I met you before I met my divine counterpart because I was on my mission to find him, and I sent him on a mission to get my iPad, which is what I usually use because we thought this meeting started an hour later. So my bad. And Frank will be here soon. But anyways, yeah, Lauren Pritchard was the one who was trying to get the super soldiers together. And she told me, hey, by the way, I know of another super soldier who's also a retired cop. I think you two should start talking. And then we found out Veronica and I have a lot of similar memories. Remember Dolphin program. I remember Hulk program. I remember different things, seeing Frank put in different avatars. And so sometimes they would call me to calm him down, and it didn't always work very well because he would be upset when he was in certain avatars because he looked rather unattractive. So that would make him more angry. And people would go flying. well, most of the people in the white coats. And of course, I have a 10-year-old boy's sense of humor. So I thought that was hilarious. Um, I also remember Amaria from different programs too. And I remember several of us in different color uniforms too. And I still haven't figured out which programs exactly we're in, because I remember seeing Veronica, and we actually knew at that point because I was like, hey, my sister, because we were both cops. And I remember that she went to put her foot up on the wall to like talk to me, like, hey, and she had the mag boots on and her boot slips, and she kind of went, and we kind of laughed about it. And she had a white smart suit on then, and I had a white smart suit, but I remember a black one, and that was much nicer than the Mars Defense one because that one was kind of janky. And then we had a navy blue one. I don't know how far are we going with this. I guess I can come back and ask me questions. So Amaria, you're up next.
Okay. Wow. I've got memories all my life of different things that being programmed, of course, in the Mormon church, I was always told it was just I was being possessed by demons and seeing angels and a medium or clairvoyant, clairaudient. I've always had the ability to like read things with people, but then like it seems like we always get stuck with narcissistic people, and then you'd be so confused because they're gaslighting you constantly. So a lot of confusion for many, many years. I think it was around 2018-ish, about same thing with Lauren Pritchard. We were on a group together, and that's where Susan and I had met, became friends. And then later, of course, Veronica joined the group. We were in a reppy group that just kind of fell apart. There was some contention, and the love bite stuff that I wanted to get away from, wasn't feeling comfortable with. I'm not going to name drop, but it was some traumatic stuff, but I was able to and have been going through a lot of that galactic dark night, especially to sift through things. For me, it's been frustrating because being very visual, I'll get a lot of dreams, and I've had a lot of dreams, nightmares, things that come to me, but then there's no data with it. It's just like pictures or flashes or like almost like a movie reel with the sound removed. And you're like, what is this? Just going through a lot of trauma. The trying to think. I apologize. I do feel a little nervous, and so I think a lot of us go through that talking. It's not fun stuff to talk about, but I do remember a lot of things. Like I'll draw pictures, and I've got some pictures with me we could talk about later. I remember what basically we've come to the conclusion was Montauk with dark underground bases, kids being held captive, of course, in inappropriate places. I'm thinking it's near the Saturn space station. There's a planetoid that I have a lot of memories on. I have memories of being family with Susan and Frank, that he and I were brother and sister. I don't know how they do that. And then on this planet, we're totally different families. It's really weird. After talking to Veronica at the 5D event, I was helping watch her table and answering questions for people when they were there about her table and everything. I showed a picture from a dream that I had that a friend, Ivan, he's from Russia, lives in Denmark, and he's been really cool about this. And another friend in Australia, it was weird whenever they're like, oh, I've seen that thing before. Veronica had mentioned that was Project Umbrella. So it's nice to actually get some information on like what these things are that I see. A lot of nightmares of being taken, being the corporal freezing, or what do you call it? Like in your sleep where you're frozen, you can't move, you can't talk, you can't do anything. One of my younger sisters has memories. She does not want to come out, so I'm not going to mention her name, but she's had some interesting memories that we've talked about that I'm just like, holy cow. It's really surreal, talking about a lot of the memories that we've had. So And I've just had the ability when I'm with people and I actually do energy work. I've touched people and their pain goes away. There's been people that have had so much faith that literally their cancer has disappeared. And
Wow.
I can't explain what it is that I do as far as energetically. I just do it. And a lot of times, whenever I'm doing session work, I see the energy bodies. There's 12 different energy bodies that we have, and I can go through each one and I work with different masters, different ascended groups. I'm not sure exactly what to call them. And then I've got some helpers that have been with me for since Maldek that have contracted to help me and protect here. So that's kind of a little bit, I guess we could go from there. And
No, that was wonderful, and I appreciate the detail that you shared. So I don't know if you guys are um how familiar you are with my. I mean, I don't really. I've not gone public the way you ladies have by choice. One of which I was threatened that if I ever did, that I would be severely attacked by somebody, and that had me have some. I mean, I was concerned about that statement, considering who it was coming from at the time. Although I realize now that first off, I'm not in fear of any of it at this point. It's just not necessary for me to share detail. Um, and if it is one day, only if it's going to make a difference and bring help and service to humanity. Otherwise, it's not necessary to share it. So, but I was using Kruger. I have been using MILAB. I was targeted, severely targeted. I was offered up as a sacrifice to Moloch. I have memory. And although the Dracos or the reptilians would say that that I sacrificed myself. I don't know that I agree with that. Um, that's why I haven't shared my story in depth, because I think a lot of, I have some memory, and then I have some memory that I know is my real this life memory, and then some stuff that I have through dream time or the astral have memory, and it may be from a past life. So I'm not clear on that. I did speak with Peter the Insider, who told me that I was um, definitely used. There's over, I think he said like 150 or 200,000 files on me. I don't know that, when somebody says to me, Ida, do you believe me? Um, I have to say, and I said to him, I don't believe you or not believe you until I get clarity on my own. People could tell me anything. I'm just not going to accept it as a truth for myself until I have some, you know, not saying that everything, because people want proof. We can't always provide proof, but we know what we've experienced. That's why I honor and respect everybody's journey. There's not always a way to prove something, and people need to understand that. A lot of the people that have been using these programs, a lot of it happens in other dimensions. The battle. People don't understand, especially people that are new coming to this kind of information. And I started this in 2011. So, and I was reaching out to watching things, Jay Essex and um, um, Lauren Pritchard and I used to talk on the phone, and we'd video chat and so forth years ago. I haven't talked to her recently, and I hope she's doing well. But I kind of pulled my energy back from a lot of people. James Rink and I, he's the only person I ever did an interview with. And when I did the interview, it was during the time when I was being targeted. So I was being targeted, and I was being gang stalked, and gaslight, all that stuff that I'm thankful that I've been able to pull myself out of all that, and I moved away from where I used to live, and now I aspire to just be the best I can be in this reality here and now. It's so important, and that's what Veronica and I were talking about earlier. I'm just like I don't want to escape to another planet. I don't want to leave Mother Earth. I don't want to, you know, there's nothing out there for me. Everything is within us. If we really get that, we realize everything is within us. It's not out there in space somewhere. Even the different aspects of ourselves are all playing out within our own consciousness. So when I start really sitting still and getting silent, because I've experienced 0 point, very much so. I know my power, and I don't say that with grandiose. I know what I'm capable of. And it's like, do I want to be known as a badass and I'm a warrior and this and that, or do I want to come with love and kindness and compassion and empathy? I'm not saying that there's not a place for us to use our power and yes, ma'am. Please, Veronica.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, Aida. When I first had my awakening in 2017, I really understood what bliss meant, because I saw, it was not, I saw Jesus in a kid form, and I saw the Maitreya coming out of a cave, and triangle, showing me his hands, white turban, white everything. I was in bliss for 2 months straight. Nothing could stop me from being happy. However, now,
Yeah,
that I see what exactly is going on here on this plane of existence, I will not back down. There's nothing wrong with being a badass, like you said, super soldier. And there's nothing wrong with being a living, a loving, giving person. However, there are boundaries. And we've had this talk on my show with Eric Hecker and Penny Bradley. So, I thought, well, let's not judge, right? I'm just saying we are everything and nothing. And everybody, like you said this morning, we were talking, everyone's on a different journey, and we'll get there. You know what I mean? But some of us are more like I tell in my channel.
Don't take what I said personal at all.
No. This is the way I speak.
Yeah. No, I know.
Very authoritative.
I absolutely adore you, and you know that.
I do
what
too.
I'm trying to say, no, because there was a time I was speaking about myself. There was a time where I was all over Facebook blasting reptilians and this and that, and I was using my gifts. I'll just say that I had, and you're right. We need to be able to protect ourselves and set boundaries. I agree, and totally. But instead of focusing this is only for me, instead of me focusing on who's out to get me, who wants to attack me, who's coming at, there was a time when I was so caught up in my head about that all the time, because, and then I put myself in a position where I'm not a victim. I'm not your plaything, and you won't engage with me in that way, right? I had to do that. But I'm not going to walk around in that stance my whole life. I want to be a woman. I am a woman. I want to soften my heart. That's what I want for myself, and I think that this is just only my perspective. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just sharing from my perspective that we get this idea being women, and I have my divine masculine. I don't get confused. I know that I have the masculine and the feminine energy that runs through me. But in order for me to have balance and to be grounded, I have to remind myself, because my mind can take me to places, I travel, I can sit here and go to a whole nother place if I choose to. So my point is, what is it that I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on things that bring either harmony and joy and love and unity in my life? Or do I want to keep focusing on, and that's why we spoke earlier, Veronica, when I was saying to you, for myself, I don't want to keep trying to figure it all out. I drove myself crazy doing that. My nerves, I'm surprised they didn't put me in a freaking loony bin somewhere. They probably would have liked that, but I told them, get the fuck out of my house. Because they did come to my house. Mental health, the police, the whole bit. Yes, go ahead.
Right. No, I do understand. I'm gonna try not to cuss, you guys, because I know Frank, we had that talk, but on my show, I don't mind, because this is just you let it out. Like, there's certain energy. I'm not saying like every other thing has to be a cuss word. I do understand.
You're more than welcome. I just got done cussing, I don't make it my business to like say every other word, like you said. But
Right.
if there's, I'm not saying do it or not, but feel comfortable is my point.
10-4. No, what it is I do have the softest heart ever. I was why do you think I made my channel, guys? Unchained Hearts. I unchained my heart from thorns and chains. All right. And I'm still unmasking my soul.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the softest heart I could ever have because I work on me. And
That's
we
right.
talked about the bloodlines already. We're not going to get into that. We talked about that earlier, Ada, unless you guys want to, all y'all. But I do and will always protect me, my children, and whoever is around me that I need to protect, animals and children. I will not back down. You know, I won't. And I am constantly learning, constantly. We're here to learn, to take with us wherever we decide to go next the knowledge. We're here to be kind to one another. I'm trying to post stuff all the time to encourage people. Love yourself first. How are you gonna love yourself if you have yourself in a back burner? How are you gonna fill your love tank if you don't take care of yourself? Anyway, here
I
we
love
go.
that. I love that. That's right. Yes. Okay, so I just want to be clear that I'm surely not recommending, suggesting. I was just speaking for myself. However, one chooses to conduct themselves or protect themselves or whatever it is you feel that you guys got to know that I love and respect each one of you for who you are and what you are. I don't challenge anybody's. People have their own choice, free will. By the way, good evening, Frank. Welcome. Yeah, have their own free will to conduct themselves, behave however they choose. All I'm saying is for me, so the topic of the show was how women, what function women have in these programs. Does anybody want to start in that? Because we could go into, we know that we've, sex slave, uh, all the different array of programs that have been, you know, MK Ultra, all the different ones. I can't, my mind's going blank a little bit right now, but if anybody wants to talk about that or talk about anything that you want to talk about that you feel is helpful for the listeners, Susan, are you interested in sharing?
I don't remember any of the sex slave stuff except the stuff they did to us when we were children through the programs. But I don't know if you want to talk about some Sonic Super Soldier stuff
Okay.
and some dog programs. That's some more positive, interesting things.
I think that's fabulous. I would love that.
Is I remember being in this big pool and it looked like it was on Earth because they had it had a metal ceiling, kind of like that corrugated steel, and it looked kind of industrial inside, and it didn't look like a regular lap pool. But I remember the kids that wouldn't stay underwater long enough, like we had to be evil to them. I had to stand on their head while to keep them underwater. And I remember being quite aggravated that me and Veronica would get stuck with the substandard students. And most of the time, they just didn't want to do whatever it was. And of course, we had to bear the brunt of that. And it's like, you know what? Really, all you need to do is try and do this and complete the task here. And it's going to be easier for everyone. And some of that stuff was actually kind of fun, but it wasn't fun to have to be mean to people and stand on their head while they're underwater because, the fear of drowning isn't a very nice one. Do you want to go on some more with the dolphin program?
Veronica?
Okay, Susan, before we go into the dolphin program, because there's a lot of stuff before that. Do you remember the bathrooms? I hated the bathrooms. Some of them were disgusting. I mean, we're not going to go into details, but we had to drown some kids, and they also drowned us when we were kids. Drowned us when we were kids in the freaking toilet, and in the tubs. I mean, I don't really want to get into all that right now, but Yes, Susan, I remember.
Yeah, I remember being drowned in what looked like it looked like a horse water trough,
Yes,
actually.
yes.
That
Yeah,
big.
I remember
I've
the
had
trough.
many memories of the horse stalls, and there were the huge horses. Do you remember one that would kind of look like a camel? He was like that. Then there was the white horses. There are all kinds of horses. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just remember that the tank that they were drowning us in looked like something that a horse would drink out of. It was that big and long, or something you would see on a farm. It wasn't something that you'd see in somebody's basement or in the basement of a government building like Montauk was. But they had a like a pneumatic chair. They'd strap you on it, and it reminded me of those 1950s vinyl chairs, and it would just hold you underwater. And I just remember being happy, and I actually laughed when I was underwater, when I could actually breathe underwater, because I knew that they were looking for my Selkie gene, because I'm Irish, you know. So there's a legend of the mer people that walk on land. So I figured that's what they were trying to activate, actually.
You know, they went through multiple different forms of it's really torture to get us to activate a certain metagene, and in water, obviously, it was so that we could be able to breathe underwater. And there were other times where some of us were actually subjected to a much hotter liquid scenario, and eventually we could just, some of us, select individuals, I guess, so to speak, were able to actually stand in molten lava, and it wouldn't harm us one bit.
Wow.
And that goes along with the Lixeldotten. But and we all have a lot of congruent memories together, like the four of us. And I mean, I brought up, like, right when I first met Amaria and Susan in the Super Soldier Facebook Super Soldier SSP group. It was the SSP group is what it was, and we had our own little group subgroup of that. Um, and when I first met them, we started talking about how we had to retrieve one another's files so that we could actually remember one another after everything was all said and done, because we knew we were going to get wiped, and we had to have some way of remembering. And the only thing that we were able to come up with was that we were able to take the files in like a mirror so that we could program our subconscious so that we would remember exactly what we were looking at and who everybody was.
We used
that was all we had.
Ultra backwards. Because they would do the through the looking glass, so we put the files up to the looking glass so we could do like a reverse psychology MK Ultra on ourselves. And I remember Amaria has a picture of herself, because I was the artist. So that's when they remote view. He's the engineer, I'm the artist. So they would have me draw faces, and I was really good with portraits. I really liked faces. But I remember Amaria's picture, she was wearing this blue, and it looked like native garb, American, Indian native garb. And she'd never shown me this picture ever before. And then she pulls it out, and I was like, oh my God, that's a picture that was in your file. And these are things we shouldn't, she grew up, where are you at? Idaho, Utah? I don't know, really far
Idaho
out.
now. I was all over as a military brat. So at that time, I was in Idaho. I'm right next to the dumb here and the FBI.
But there's no way I should know Amaria. So how do I know these things? How did I even know that dress that she had? Because when I saw it, from what we figured out, that time we were trying to escape, and we were trying to remember each other so we could connect afterwards. We think that it was 20 years ago, just by the style of our hair, that we did that. But we tried to escape numerous times. So I'm not even sure which attempt that was.
I don't have any, so I think this is fascinating. Yes, I'll get right to you, Veronica. 1 second. So I'll tell us made a comment on, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Ogtella, so I definitely believe that I was using a whole nother separate project program. I'm from Maryland, right outside of DC. So, and I grew up in Wheaton, and there's some. So I think there's different groups of super soldiers that have worked together doing certain assignments and so forth. So, yeah. So I don't recall any of y'all, although I don't have the memory. Some of the memory that I have is much different than what you guys have. But nonetheless, I know that, you know, this this is important information. Veronica, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to unmute myself. Yeah, I just wrote to everyone, the mirrors, that is CIA. Okay, so there's a reason why we can read upside down, flipping it backward, whatever, inside out, backward, up, down. We can see multidimensional because we already have those abilities. But they wanted to make sure, who they were going to use for this. And I do remember and recall all the because see, we had to train in the CIA to train others. Okay. Do y'all remember the offices? The black, the desks, they were also wooden desks. There was a lady, she was a German lady. I don't know if that's Penny Bradley or not. To this day, I don't know yet. We all had our desks, and her frequency seems like it was. I haven't talked to her about it yet, but I was in charge of technology and security, and I also taught classes with Susan Long, quantum physics, entanglement. I was a pilot as well, and there was these huge black oblong, heavy, they kind of look like eggs, but they opened. Okay, and it's black goo, Kevlar, all that. It was very, very heavy. It was heavy. There's two of them, and I gave it to the lady, and she says, "I want you to go ahead and ship them." And I go, "What? How do you want me to ship them in this envelope you gave me? They're so freaking heavy." But I found a way. See, we're always going through training. So we have the auditorium rooms. Okay. There's just, they had us in ESL. They had me in ESL, English as a second language. I've been in Head Start since I was 3 years old. And it wasn't until my junior and senior year in high school that I was able to go to AP English and AP Science, all that. And why is it that my junior year at the University of Arizona, I have a 3.0? They're freaking liars. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember the train stations under the malls, like after school or during school, we would go, and like a lot of the things I remember, like we would go on a base that we would interface with like little fairy people. That's where I met another friend. I won't name his name just because I haven't asked permission, but he and I were playmates. Basically, we would work together. It seemed like I was paired with a lot of different boys or men, which I thought was interesting. And then the mansion and the castles. I remember there's one castle that reminded me like the Lord of the Rings. You know how they have the really long outer courtyard area, and I remember seeing really like peaked mountains, almost like either the Tetons or like just like those kind of mountains that are like really high, or like the Alps or something, that are just, you're way high up because you can see the snow. And when you look over the side of the turret in the castle, it went for thousands of feet. I mean, there's no way out. You couldn't get out. And then I remember that the doors were so high and the ceilings, like there's no way that there weren't giant beings there, because it was huge. I mean, you walk in and even stairs were like, I mean, you would not be able to get up except they had little side stairways that you could go up like with regular sides.
Yeah.
That we could go up on those. But like a lot of the castle things, like I said, like earlier, like a lot of the memories have been fragmented. The trauma that I had been overcoming this past year, of course, was the sexual traumas that I had been through, that I've really been working through. I won't go into because I don't want to. That's not even, yeah. But there's also an underwater base that I'm trying to even remember where it was, except I'm wondering if, like, you know, when you're over by Ventura Beach, whenever we were at Dimensions of Disclosure in 2019, I remember seeing like the little islands out there, and it was so familiar that I was just like, oh yeah, it's really crazy. That's about the time that they had the fires at Porter Ranch, and I could feel when the base was being bombed, and so that was really interesting. But
Can I just ask a question? What do you guys think? Like, what is it that we're being used for? To like take over other planetary systems and knock out different star nations? Is that what we're? I mean,
It's it's a bit of everything, really. Why see, like you're talking about how you don't associate with some of the different aspects of what some of us have been through, just like a lot of us won't associate with a lot of other different individuals because everything was compartmentalized for on purpose, so that we wouldn't have a way to cross reference memory with any other
right,
individual. And that's
right,
why so many of us are so separated by, in some cases thousands of miles. In other cases, I mean, we even know people that are overseas
hmm,
that, you know, they have congruent memories with us as well. And we would normally not ever interact with these individuals, but in certain support groups and in conversation, we start talking about some of our memories and experiences, and they're just like mind blown because then they start actually chiming in with what they remember, and then it just completely cross references, and none of us should
well,
know
Frank, I
one
hope
another.
you don't. Yeah, it's not that I don't associate with you. I mean, I think all of you are fat. I'm not going to say I have memory if I don't, or I'm not going to try to, you know, if I don't have any memory, then I could have very well been using it in a separate and different program or timeline. I don't know, but yeah,
Well,
of
do
Shoot,
course,
we've been
you
used
know.
in everything for as a spy to a colonist to,
Well,
sonic super soldiers to Lixeldotten capability.
I had Andreas do a reading for me, and he told me that um, I am definitely Palladian, but my initial place of origin is Lemuria. So I'm half Lemurian, half Pleiadian. And I'm a 7 foot tall brunette with blue eyes, Pleiadian. Not in this
sure.
reality, and right. And that my cosmic job description was genetic healing chambers.
Mhm.
And this is the first time I've ever shared this with anybody. So I am, because it's okay.
Well,
Uh, but I've had 8 reincarnations, and my earth mission and purpose is a wanderer and to heal and guide people. And my current vibrational state is 4D. And you were also Illyrian from planet Shilak, Shilak. I don't know how to pronounce that. But I have a brother that's part of the Silver Fleet. Do you guys know anything about Silver Fleet? Anybody? No, I'm just curious because I don't know anything
well,
about it. Please go ahead, Veronica.
I know a brother. His name is Glenn Roos, and I had him on my channel, but he doesn't really talk about his experiences. But he is the actual. Do you guys remember the silver dude that's in Fantastic Four?
oh,
That's
Silver
him,
Surfer.
and that's what you're talking about, Silver Shield. And I was there too because my uniform is all silver, baby. I'm there too. I was used in all the programs. I just don't remember the names. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Okay. Anyways, that was my little bit of contribution that I mean, I have memory in a lot of detail of my own, but I don't know that. I'm not trying, I don't know that. Go ahead, please, Amaria.
So I remember some sort of genetics program. Veronica and I talked a little bit about it, working with the mantis people, and we would work with infants, different types of hybrids that were in these egg pods that had either a blue or a green liquid. I'm assuming it was like some sort of a regen tank for babies or little children. And she said that she was remembering me there as well. from the stuff that I remember from like Frank and Susan was over by Cirrus Colony when Frank and I were somehow brother and sister, like twins. And one of the times that we tried to escape when we were fired upon, I was stabbed. She was shot in the back trying to leave. And my divine counterpart was with me at the time. When we got brought back, I found out later that his death was a sacrifice. And so he was killed when he was 25 on this planet. So I don't have a divine counterpart anymore. I mean, he was taken back. There was an attempt. This is why I'm still nervous today. The most recent attempt on my life was this year, April 28th, and going to 5D. My ex-husband looked up and down on my vehicle and said, you could go back and forth to Vegas 5 times. There's not any problem. You know, there's things that eventually you'll have to fix. Frank fixed my vehicle. That was another issue that we had. You said it was like somebody had poured something on that water pump or whatever it was almost like it ate it perfectly all the way down, and it was like sand. So I guess technically there was 2 attempts. So this is, ever since, it's not been fun for me to talk about this stuff. So
do we need to take a break, or are you okay, Maria?
I'm okay. I'll get back on.
Get that ulcer out. Get that ulcer out. Get it out.
Do you guys remember the pre-recruitment where
yes,
they basically they came to us as children, and it was more than likely some, you know, military guy or CIA, you know, black suit kind of guy, or in some cases women. They would ask us, they're like, oh, well, do you want to go, you know, fight, you know, the space bad guys and save the world? And, you know, of course, as children, we're like, yeah, that's, you know, of course I want to save the world. You know,
I was Frank, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was in 4th grade. I
Yeah.
still have that picture, which it's in a huge baul, un valise, real big. I don't even know. But I have a picture. They had us dress up in astronaut suits in NASA. Okay, they had us do a Starship computer room, and they had us go through a scenario. They had us make. I know, Susan, you're getting a headache. I have one right here. They had us do the globes, right? And then the map of the world around the globe. Come on, guys. This stuff is real. And then were you guys I was in the Wright Brothers program. I was taught to fly a Cessna when I was in 7th grade.
We were just having this conversation the other day.
Yeah, we were
What the
taking a
hell?
long drive and we were going past the cornfields, and I said, I swear to God, Frank, that I used to fly a crop duster in the 40s, and we swear we were taken out of the 40s timeline, and they bumped us through several different timelines. We remember Atlanta, some place that looked like Samaria, but I think that was
Susan, in the 1940s, you guys are in my memories too. Okay, we are wearing Frank, you have hair that's parted to the side and it's black. We were wearing the it's kind of like the brown, like a little lighter than the UPS guys wear now. It's a little lighter. That was the uniform, and we were like flying, and somehow we had to get on top of we had to land emergency on top of a house building that was all white. It's crazy. 1940, yeah.
And then I found pictures lately, like of several people from like World War I, World War II, that it looks just like us. It's so crazy. One of them has myself and 2 other people that I've known, and then other people, like, that's been really crazy in those uniforms you're talking about. And then flying, like I was in the NASA ROTC program in high school, and then also my uncle was one of the Sante Raiders, and so he was a pilot, and he used to take me up in his plane and it just give me the controls, and it was like I was a natural. It was really interesting, and I was only like 16.
Real quick, I was the pilot on to my left. He let go. He told me how to fly it, and I said, "Am I flying?" He's like, "You're flying." I'm like, "No way." He goes, "I have hands off," and he had hands off. Everything was off. I'm like, "Okay, better concentrate."
Yeah, we were talking about how we remembered some certain scenarios that played out that were related to the Sonora Aero Club. as something that Susan and I were having like a real deep-rooted conversation about. And then I think it was like a week later, we had an open discussion with Penny Bradley, and we were talking about this specifically, and Penny brought it up. And she's like, yeah, I mean, do you guys have any memories that go back to the Sonora Aero Club? And we were like, we were just talking about this, and how Susan remembered that, you know, we'd walked in to this large facility that had almost like a
Wings to a Da Vinci flying machine.
Yes.
And that's what we were there to collect. And we were collecting all these ancient flying machines. And Frank was a portlier version of himself. He was maybe, you were like 30 pounds at least, heavier, maybe 50. And he was bigger in the face, and he had pork chop. See, Veronica remembers, because, yeah, you look different. I don't know if you were maybe 30 then, but you looked a lot different.
I was thicker.
Yeah, you're a lot thicker. And that's how you look, because I remember you smiling at me and your dimples showing. And yeah, we were wearing Victorian garb. And I had like this Inspector Gadget thing on my little, like I had a cycling kind of outfit on.
I remember. And then my twin flame, which he is currently in Texas right now. We've talked about this before. We were in the Victorian as well, and it was like what happened was when I watched Dracula, the second one, with that hot guy. What's his name? Not Keanu Reeves, the first one, but the second one. That's him and me. We were laughing. You know, it's all these memories. We gotta write a book or something. But I want us to all be able to talk about this in the conference. Guys, we're gonna be in Vegas live November 4, 5, 6, and 7, the Golden Nugget. We are collecting how do you say not donations, but how do you say contributions? Okay, because we gotta say contributions because this is for to educate other people. Some people see us as the freaks. Okay, the freaks come on at night. You know, it's like F off. Like, you guys wouldn't be here if we were not here. We are the guardians of the galaxies. We are the cops of this mother effing Earth. Here you go. Which I love Mother Earth. I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be back.
Are we on break right now?
No, we're not. But I have to go.
Break. I want to grab more coffee.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab coffee. I'll be right back. I mean, yeah. Okay.
No longer fear the unknown, cause I know what I am here for. I keep on trotting on my own path, keep on learning from my present and past, yeah. When I no longer need validation, cause my story is long and I'm patient. I know that I have lessons to learn, keep my eyes open each step I earn, yeah. No need for me to feel alone, cause I got a place that I call home. Every single road travel, every single new place, I come back home, they accept me with grace, yeah. When I know that I was meant to be here, and I know that I was born into fear, but I will stand tall in the lion's den, cause I know in my heart I am one of them. That there are lies in the facets of everything that we see, that are telling us to be scared when all we ever are is free. I'm letting go of the things that don't serve me no more, cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do you. Said I deserve to be here. But I'm in a constant transition, constantly changing vision. Story never certain, there is always a revision to be made. When I think about the demons I have slayed, I am not afraid of confrontation in vain. To the people that see evil, not as peaceful as I look, but a warrior at heart, so precaution must be took. What I'm trying to give in to the lessons that will soften my ways and means are changing, cause I talk to spirit often. Tell me to stay sharp, tell me to stay present, tell me to ignore the fools and focus on the sin. Well, I said I will starve my ego and I will remain strong. I will make mistakes and I will often be wrong. When I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm only here to learn, and all the evil on the path gets burned. I said I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm only here to learn, and all the evil on the path gets burned. Now there are lies in the facets of everything that we see, that are telling us to be scared when all we ever are is free. I'm letting go of the things that don't serve me no more, cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do you. Pressure always come from the outside. Try not to let it in where I reside. Well, this is my heart, my home, my choice, my love, my life, my path, my voice. Yeah. But I feel my heart grow with each step. Stand firm in where the path goes next. Well, I know that where it goes is where I need to be. The more lessons rain down, more blessings I see. Yeah. So there are lies in the facets of everything that we see, that are telling us to be scared when all we ever are is free. I'm letting go of the things that don't serve me no more, cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do you.
Welcome back, everyone. My name's Aida Farhat. Welcome to Conscious Heart Solutions, where we have super fabulous guests today. Susan Long, Frank, Amaria, Amaria Love, Veronica Bartoloni, will be back with us in just a moment. Thank you guys for coming on. Yeah. Can unmute yourself if you like. Frank, do you have something you want to share?
No,
with
just
us?
thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to get a little bit more structure in my shows, but I kind of like just down to earth conversation, nothing stiff, if people want a professional format, they can, go somewhere else and it's not that I don't say that in a rude way. I'm just saying it's just not the way I run my show. I want people to feel comfortable and have the opportunity to share whatever they're comfortable with, and of course with some respect and boundaries for each other. But there's just so much information. It's hard to really keep things. I'm gonna have Tony Rodriguez coming up in a couple weeks, and
He's such a sweetheart.
yeah, I'm very excited about that, and I definitely will probably have to structure myself a little bit better. But yeah. Hey, beautiful Veronica. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that let's just switch this a little bit. Let's just redirect. Do you guys? How do y'all? Where's your mind at with like this being a simulation that we live in?
I think it is.
A matrix simulation. Yeah.
Right. After
think-
several
yeah.
near-death experiences and just learning what I did about how religion was created as mind control to help on the fear-based side, and then of course just the garbage that were taught in schools, that were programmed on TV, on the news, now with of course specific illnesses that are going around and specific jabs to treat those things. Everything has in layers of fear-based, I guess, scenarios to keep people afraid of, being able to take control of their lives, their bodies, their health, everything, when really our bodies are made to heal and regenerate themselves, when our minds can heal. There's research out there showing, and I even proved myself with my own dog when he broke his back and he was paraplegic, healing his spine just naturally. And so there's so many things that we're able to do when we're able to, find that 0 point, that center. I've worked with a lot of different types of energies to help just with myself. That's, and everybody has their own systems that they use. The ones that I've used, I've done just because they've worked on myself and they've been effective. They've been life-saving for me. Thank God, because I probably wouldn't be here.
Mhm. I know, Susan, you do Reiki, right? Susan, you do
I
long
do.
distance? Yeah.
I do cranial fascial therapy. It's cranial sacral therapy with married with John Barnes Unwinding. I do massage therapy. I'm Reiki master and Holy Fire and Osui Reiki.
That's awesome. That's
And
super
I've also done energy work without even knowing what to even call it. And I helped heal a fellow SSP asset in the past. He actually lives just an hour from here. And I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time. And then when Susan and I, finally reconnected, she started, talking to me about Reiki and actually did some Reiki on me to heal me. And I finally figured out, oh, well, I guess I've been doing this for a while. I didn't even realize I knew what I was doing with it. And yeah, we've been kind of healing each other.
Yeah, that happens. That happens, I think, with a lot of people. I've heard this kind of thing. We have gifts that it's our natural divine
Grace.
nature to be able to perform these types of happenings. And we think it's some miraculous something, but no, we are created that way. We are creator beings. We are capable. I asked every day I just say, bless my hands, bless my hands so that I can either extend a hand to someone and bless them, or hold their hand and comfort, whatever it is, whatever I can do. I just started doing ionic foot balancing to help people get their bodies cleaned out so they can feel it when somebody's doing Reiki on them. A lot of people are so not in touch with their bodies, and there's so much toxins running through them, or they don't sit still long enough to really feel the feelings, feel their different organs, talk to them. Yeah, go ahead, Amaria.
I can definitely attest that whenever Susan worked on me, just because a lot of us are able to go interdimensionally, like I literally felt her pull me onto her table. I could feel what she was doing to me. People have said similar things about me. I've worked on Veronica and other people, but yeah, Susan definitely is amazing with her Reiki, the work that she does. She's very powerful. And I would say anybody that you want to do body work with her, yes, absolutely 100%. Go to Susan.
Very good.
She's awesome with that.
Awesome. Yeah. Please, Veronica.
Yeah, I don't say be less. This is just for me because it's blessed. Be less. I say sanctify. I don't say good morning because I'm not going to be freaking mourning all day long. All right. Healing. I was used as a healer through another name, right? In the church, you know whose name that is that they use. I helped heal a lot of people in the church, and when one of my aunts on my mother's side was dying, my mother called me. She's like, "Please, can you come pray?" I don't say pray anymore because I'm praying on people. I'd rather send you guys a direct message. Hey, I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you healing love, everything. So my aunt was dying. My mom called me. I put my hands on her head, and she woke up. She lived another 5 years.
Lovely. I love
We are
that.
all healers. We're all healers. I heal myself. You guys, if you follow me on Facebook, you see all the pictures that I post. Why do I post them? Because I'm checking on my progress. And I have had 5 people already tell me that they started on their fat loss journey, excuse me, because we do need weight. Fat loss journey. Because
You
I
are
put myself out there.
Veronica. You inspire me. All of you inspire me. I mean, I've been connected
You
with
inspire
you
us.
for years now, and I do my best. I mean, that's why I like having, come together occasionally like this, and where we can share and be supportive of each other. I do my best to support my sisters out there, especially ones that I know are used in these projects and programs. And I may not have had experiences with you guys, but one thing I can tell you is, whether I was intimately or involved in the way that you guys or not, I know what it feels like to wake up and find out that my whole life has been usurped, and what I thought was my life was not. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be gang stalked, used as a sex slave, the whole everything. I was definitely in simulations being used for multidimensional battle. My purpose in saying all of that is I can relate, I resonate, I understand, I understand. And yes, you're right. Our language has been, the etymology of our words are completely, misconstrued and all kinds of other stuff. And that's purposely because they want us to create negative timelines for ourselves by the words that we use in our thoughts and so forth. When I say they, it's aspects of us. That's what I have to remind myself. I'm just saying, Veronica, for me, I'm not saying you. When I think of somebody out there doing something to me, if I understand that all is self, if we even give that any credit, then I realize that these are also aspects of myself. We are here to grow our soul. And I have a dark aspect of myself, maybe on several timelines. I don't know.
We all do. We all do. We have the altars. That's why we talk, Frank. Come on, Frank. By the way, there's a question on Facebook. On YouTube. Okay, about AI and stuff. Bridget, she has a question. Anyway, Frank.
Okay, who wants to answer the question? What is the question?
Go for it, Frank.
Well, what do you What are you getting at?
I'm looking. I'm not. I need
dark-
to look.
Dark altar.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a dark
It
phoenix.
says
and
here,
you're,
oh, you want me to read it?
Please do, because I'm not
Oh
on
my
there.
gosh, I hope I can see here. Bridget B, question, does everything happen simultaneously? Yes. Past, present, and future. Why do you think that circle with the 3 leaves like that? Because they want to hold us in their freaking energy to use us as loosh. When
Right.
we break out of that circle with the 3 flowers, the upside downside triangle, which means when we break out of that, that means we finally found out we are the freaking Merkaba, baby. All right, next question. And then you guys can answer it. AI timelines, I can't see. Is there a greater purpose? Finding Earth other at the time. I don't know what she means by that, but there are other, the reason why they are doing the transhumanism plan is because they're getting ready to use those on another freaking planet, dimension, and galaxy. Okay, you guys go.
Yeah, they want, well, the powers that be are really trying to cling to this 3D reality, like really, really hard. They have power here in this 3D reality, so they want to keep it. So what that means for this whole AI timeline or whatever, they want to keep everybody inside that frequency, and the only way for them to do it is to implement this whole like artificial intelligence transhumanist agenda, because otherwise everyone is already organically ascending. It's already happening. Time is a fabrication. It was a measurement of how we make a revolution around the star. You know, that's literally all it really is. Otherwise, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Everything that has happened is happening now, and everything that will happen can happen right now. And we can all tap into everything we've ever incarnated as throughout space-time at any given point in time, because there are no limitations but what we actually put on things. There aren't. And what the powers that be really don't want is for people like us to actually teach other people this, and let them know that they have this kind of power.
Being spontaneous and coming together like this, they can't really interrupt that, because
Right.
we are literally coming together spontaneously, co-creating together, right? And I see time as a social agreement and nothing more. If I say I'll be here at this time, this is so that we have an understanding that that's a social agreement. We'll connect at a time. But I really try to pay attention to like the different weather and the different seasons. That's how I can tell where I'm at in my own atma, my own body, my own universe of becoming. Because we are always becoming. Life is always changed. There's never the same in every second, every moment, every in breath and exhale we take as a new time and dimension. Quite literally, if you really want to get down to the,
Well, yeah, I have to agree with that, because the one thing that I've been coming to the greatest understanding of lately is that your thoughts are a creation, a complete creation that you can literally, with every single thought you have, it creates another reality in some other space and time. In some cases, it can be manifested right here and now in front of you. And what I've been doing lately is I've been trying to better know myself through my thoughts, my actions, and to actually be in total control of my thought process as well. To where, if I'm in the dreamscape or in the ether and, astral plane, whatever you want to call it, which is just a higher dimensional realm of existence, you have control over these things yourself, because you co-create this reality even more than you do here in this three-dimensional existence.
Yes.
But even here too. So
Yeah.
when you're in a dark mindset where you're thinking, oh well, I'm never going to get ahead, or you're thinking to yourself, man, this is just impossible, then it's going to be impossible. It's absolutely going to be completely impossible. And I've been fighting with that, and getting in touch, like with Veronica said, with the dark aspects of ourselves, and understanding that we we are both light and dark. And like Susan says all the time, we got to walk the middle path so that we can choose one way or the other based on the experiences that we come across in our daily lives. So sometimes you got to embrace the dark, because you're facing a darkness, and the only way for you to really face that darkness is to bring yourself to that level and then shine light on it. Because that's exactly what we
the
do.
act of alchemy and transmuting, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah, very important.
Yeah, especially even when you're doing energy work. Like I've gotten etherically hit, like with a wrench in the head, and they'll try to hit you with headaches. And I've worked on some other SSP people, and you have to get mad and push back, or otherwise they'll hurt you, because they don't like us healing each other. So you have to, put on your armor of God along with whatever other protection measures, you like to use, and probably some extra things.
I wanted to say that I've been battling for the last at least year and a half to actually enter a career that was going to actually be lucrative and bring our financial status back to some at least level normal. And it's been just a challenge, and it's been hurting us, for the longest time. And we were targeted for such a long time. And I was just like, look, it's time now. It's time. Something has to give. And this week I was just offered a career opportunity, and I'm going to be an expert level machinist for a top tier organization that's not real far away. And it's an excellent paying job. And I'm actually,
congratulations, Frank,
yeah,
to both
thank
of
you.
you. I'm very happy for both of you. That's lovely.
I've been fighting for it and fighting for it and fighting for it. Today, I finally got because I was going through all the steps, to, get the interview process, and you do all the background check processes and everything. And I went through the background check, and I was like kind of in a state of worry, because, my financial status has been crippled ever since my divorce, and even previous to that. So, that rug was pulled out from underneath me some time ago. And I was like, no, I've got to embrace this. I've got to, take back my power and
right.
be the person that I know that I can be. And then I literally, I was like, shit, I gotta see what happened with this background check. And I opened up that email, and it was like, congratulations, welcome to the team. And I was like, I was in tears.
I love to hear these stories.
I was in tears, because I
so
fell apart. I
awesome.
called my mother, and I was like, just
Frank.
crying and crying. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah.
I'm okay. We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So it was
Very
awesome.
good. Congratulations. That's super awesome. This is what I'm talking about. I like to talk about solutions and good things. I'm not saying that we, shouldn't give or honor each other and give each other the space to be able to share when we're having some struggling times and so forth. But if we really focus on these moments of being able to celebrate one another and being able to overcome some of the challenges in our daily lives, that's what I wanted the second hour to be. What is it that we do? What do you do, Veronica, Amaria, Susan, Frank, in your daily life that helps you stay grounded and be able to be anchored, and not just the 3D, but your multidimensional self, where you're able to navigate and function as a multidimensional being, making the highest and best choices for yourself. That's really what it comes down to. In every moment, we have a choice, whatever we're presented with. What was that, Susan?
Nothing.
Oh, please share.
I think she's
feel it. I
noticing
can
the
feel your
shifting.
energy.
We're
Go ahead.
we the
No,
shift.
we've been working on manifesting some stuff. It's just a private joke. Never mind.
Well, but it's happening, right? Is it
It is.
happening?
So happy, you guys.
I don't
Yeah.
need to know the
I,
details. It's happening. That's the amazing
Right.
thing. Please, Veronica, go ahead.
I'm so happy, Frank, for you guys, you and Susan. Susan and I had a talk a few days ago, and I said, I just sent him 2 interviews. Tell him to dress blah, 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 something personal. And I'm so excited because you guys together worked, and I sent it. We all worked together. The 3 babies. My number is 33. Anyway, I have to answer some questions. I'm gonna go backward.
Amaria
Frank,
had
your
something.
question- Huh?
Amaria had something. She was
Oh
like,
yeah,
hey.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was just sharing, like, basically the same, where a lot of us have been sabotaged on work, like, over and over. I've been able to kind of get like temp jobs, but like every time I would try to go get something, you know, more substantial, it would just be kicked and kicked and kicked. And I never had that problem for years. And the other day I was hired on the spot for a job too. And it's really awesome. And I'm excited. And it's towards the
That's
place I'm going to be
freaking
moving.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I
It'll
love
be a
that.
commute for a few months, but it's going to lead to some better positions that I can do, that I enjoy doing, that I can still do my energy work and my Ganzanite on the side. So I just feel so relevant. And I'm so excited for you guys, just because I know how it's been so hard for all of us, where we've been hit so hard financially. So what an amazing gift. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to you too. That's amazing. I appreciate that so much.
Well, I don't know, Frank, you weren't here when I said I just started my it's called the Detox Den. Well, Ida's Beautiful Brows. So it's Beautiful Brows. I'm doing non-toxic vegan ink microblading and microshading combos. So that's my way of doing being creative. I love to make women look beautiful, and more importantly, I love to empower them. You have so many women that have cancer or alopecia, or, you know, just simply don't have any brows, and they want to, you know, feel it empowers them and makes them have more, or and offers more for them to feel more confident within themselves. So it's just, you know, I said to myself, I cannot do this spiritual stuff anymore. This is going to be spiritual because I'm going to make it spiritual, you know, and go into a different direction for a minute. I just kept feeling like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't want to become a tarot reader. You know, I would love to do public speaking and share my story. If that opportunity presents itself, I will. I do have half of a book written. That needs to be finished. When it does, it will, right? I just need a break. I need to get grounded in my 3D life, and I aspire to do better, to be better, to challenge myself, to be the best person I can be. And, you know, my community, I'm very active in my community, and I deal with a lot of people that have struggled coming off drugs. They're now using kratom. I don't know if y'all know what kratom is. I never heard of it until I started going to the CBD cafe. But anyways, just getting active and involved with people, and going to drum circles and sharing with other young girls, and, you know, empowering them to empower themselves, or encouraging them to empower themselves by, you know, going after their own dreams and so forth. So it sounds like everybody's doing pretty well. I mean, you've been, you know, Amaria, you've got a new job. I was invited to work in a salon, and she gave me my own room, and I'm excited about that. And I don't know that it's something I'll do for the rest of my life, but for right now, it's bringing in some money for me because I'm on disability. I think a lot of us, Veronica and I were talking about it earlier. It's like, you know, I applied for disability and got it in 3 months. There was no questioning anything. And I often say to myself, it's because I was using these programs that they just approved me and let me, because I was diagnosed ADHD, bipolar. I'm neither one, you know, I know that now. But anyways, congratulations to you and to Amaria. I'm very happy to hear that for you. I love to hear people I care about doing well and good things happening for you. So, And I'm happy for you, Susan. You have your beloved now. You both are, it's going to lighten things up for you a bit. I hope so.
Well,
Yeah.
is it okay if I share really quick? I can't stay on way too much longer. And so
Sure.
really quick, as far as like what I do, I meditate several times a day. I use prayer. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do, and just really getting myself centered, especially like when triggers come, I have to go inside. I'm very introverted, INFP, and so when I do work on things, I like to go inside and actually do it. Like if I start to get emotional, I'm just like, okay, I need to step back away from people because I don't want that energy obstructing somebody else's space. I think that's disrespectful of somebody else's space. That's my crap I need to deal with. And so I go inside. I use a lot of meditation and some other techniques that have really helped. It helps to kind of tear into people, like if they really need it. There's some programs that I don't use as often. Lately, I've been getting more into the energetics. Like I'll go and look at the different energetic bodies. I balance the person's rod and staff, their hara line or their kundalini, and I focus on basically their chakra cones, because right now it is what it is. We still have that part of the matrix to where we need to work on those chakras. And then attachments, entities, removals. I do possessions. Basically, like whenever people have those things, I am able to pull those off through a type of remote viewing, psionic energy work. You can, if you're interested in doing a session with me, you can contact with me on the best problem solvers with an S at live.com. And I do sessions to where I can do them on the phone. I can do hands-on if I'm within about a 200-mile radius. There is, of course, I would have to charge for gas because it's pretty pricey lately, but I'm willing to do in-home if I need to. Otherwise, I don't have to. I can actually do over the phone or a Zoom. And then I go into a meditative state, a trance-like state, and then I go through and I help balance that person. There's also actually tonal lines that I can see that I can balance on people. So there's a lot of different areas that I can work on. And then of course, Ganzonite, it's plasma gans. I've actually got it trademarked. I had a dream about it when I was researching medbed technology, and they were talking about tachyon. That's actually tachyon energy that's created through the Kesh Institute. I studied that for a couple of years, and I created it in my house. And then I used the crystal technology, radionics, magnetics, and I do sell these pyramids. They're $111. I've got a couple of them on Etsy right now. I've got them marked up because I did take them to Mount Shasta and I've had them charged with extra energy. So those are actually pretty powerful. And so anybody that's interested, they can check out my Etsy page, Amaria Sweet. And I will be making more. And this is the one that I made for Veronica. I can do some custom. She wanted a dragon, and so I made one with the dragon on it for her.
That's super awesome. Good job.
Thank
I
you.
had yeah, good for you. Forget it. I was gonna say I had somebody make me a pyramid in a pendulum that I mean not a pendulum, a necklace piece that I wear.
Mhm.
And then I have this one from Michael Lee Hill.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's quartz crystal, and it's got the Metatron.
Love it.
Yeah. So I
Well,
admire.
I do need to go, and so
Okay.
thank you so much for having me on. I love you guys. This has been very healing. I know we had some trauma and everything here and there, but we're getting through it. We're
Yep.
communicating. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the opportunity to
Love
be here.
surrounds you too, Amaria. Thank you for joining us, and we'll do it again sometime. Have a great night.
You too.
Love you, Amaria.
Love you guys.
Thank you for helping me in your energy work, getting that sword out of my stomach. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's us three. We've got about 25 minutes. Anybody want to share anything? And we don't have to run the whole another half hour. It's up to you guys. I mean, I don't want you to feel like you have to. Yeah,
Veronica, there was questions, right?
yeah. Please do.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was answering some questions because of the same question there. And after I'm done talking, I know that you guys, especially, well, both of you, Frank and Susan, they, by the way, dynamic duo. These guys are a powerhouse. They kick ass together. They communicate. They are my inspiration.
Mhm.
These guys, when we call them, whether we're LOC, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, uh, Saturn, rings, you know, that's where one of the mansions is that Amaria was telling. These guys like that, like they fly. I mean, they're that fast. They get shit done. We all get shit done, but these guys are, you know, the dynamic duo. We're gonna be in Vegas again in November. Come on. Okay. So the answer to answer the question was, what do you do to stay grounded? Some things that I do is I do junk journals. I either, you know, I raffle them off or sell them as I can. I do 3 to 4 hours 4 times a week at the gym. And if I do the 3 hours 3 times at the gym, I'll go running in the weekend or biking. Some days, however, I will stay home for a week because I will not be out there with those freaking energies. I will not. There's something out there that they do. That's when you know, guys. And I'm going to do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's when the matrix, that's when you know that the matrix is changing. Okay? And what do? We power up. We restore, we power up, right? We rest, restore, reset the mother effing thing, load up again, baby, and we're out again. Get it? So you all need to know that out there in the public, because if there's a reason why we don't want to, you know, call, we don't want to answer your call with your questions, because I know you guys have tons of them, and we do send and appreciate love, right? And understanding, but sometimes we need our own, we need to recalibrate. We need, as they are recalibrating, we have to go, we have to undo it. We have to undo that. Okay, as far as Frank, I was wondering if you can get more into integration. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm going to kill off my altars. I'm like, really? No, you have to integrate them first. And do you want to integrate the evil and the good? That's the question that a lot of people have. Okay, we do need to integrate the evil and the good. I had a really bad evil witch that was sacrificing, which I'm not going to say what.
Yes.
And then Gravity. Have you guys all seen, and the public seen, Interstellar? There's a reason. I finally figured it out. The girl kept saying, gravity, Dad, gravity, gravity. And then she goes to Saturn, and she's old, and her dad comes back, and he's young. That is time travel. Okay, quantum physics, guys. We are able to do that. What happens here on Earth? The biggest challenge and competition, one of them, because there's several, is we conquer gravity. That's what we have to do. And with anything, with you know, Frank getting his career going, with me getting, you know, I'm going to get Reiki certified master in September. Lisa Weaver's going to do that. We're going to do a class with other people. I'm excited. Okay. We got to keep going. Now, the second program that they want to keep us down, okay, is the love, sex, food, rock and roll, you name it, loosh. Does love really exist between partners here on Earth? I don't know. Does it? Because they use the Valentine's is the arrow to get people on the CIA love bite when you get the big old eyes like that. Okay. Oh, maybe this is the one. Maybe, oh, Disney. F Disney, you know. No, this is why yesterday I finally answered my own question saying, why do people get old? I don't have to get old. We don't need no freaking beds. You know why? You know how they do it? And F you, whoever you're hearing, you know who you are, freaking CIA. You know how they do it? F these mother effers. They have Hallmark, the cry movies. Oh, I need to be loved. They have the cutting, you know, suicidal thing. Oh, I gotta go. I did it. Okay, I'm talking for me. The food, the fast food. They put all that nano shit technology in there, the chemtrails, all that shit. They want to keep us thinking that we have to have sex every freaking day, 100 times a day. And how many banks can I get? How many black little books am I going to turn in? Okay, maybe some of y'all did this contract. Here's my Southern Belle girl coming out. Ready? I got altars. Maybe you all want to, the guys and gals that run around with the little spank bank black book, whatever you want to call it, and names. How many did I sleep with today? How many can I tell my friends about? Maybe you made a contract with the Satan. And I'm not saying devil, because the devil is good for entity, okay? Archangel Michael, Lucy, all that, guys. Come on, I got Goddess Kali here. She's justice to me. They got this world upside down. So people get old. Why do organs stop working if you don't work out and you don't know all this stuff? And you don't love yourself unconditionally? Because they got you on a leash, baby. When the F are you gonna wake up? I'm done.
Yeah, you're right. Veronica's
I
absolutely
mean, I could
right.
go into everything that you're talking about. I was talking about all this stuff years ago, and I agree, Veronica. Everything's been weaponized. Everything. But if you consider yourself to be a creator being, then you can pull your energy back and you can start from your 0 point and go back into your heart.
That's right. That's how I did it.
That's right. So I don't give a shit what they're doing out there. I really don't. Not now.
Like, I know you don't, Ada. I know you don't, but I got some new followers.
It's Aida.
Well,
Aida.
I have the Mexican accent. Let me see. What is it? Ada?
Aida.
Aida.
Haida. Okay, I'm gonna say Haida.
Aida. A-I-D-A. The A is silent. Aida.
I know. I'm gonna say H in my head. You guys, I know many languages, so bear with me. Okay, they had me in ESL. Remember, I talked about that. They wanted me to feel stupid. So it doesn't help when you guys are trying to correct me when I'm trying to tell you telepathically that I'm not gonna be here insulting your name. It's just that I have a list. My brain goes.
Veronica,
I can't say it.
I don't care. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I don't take a whole lot personal. I was just trying to let you know for yourself. But if you want to call me whatever you want to call me, Annie.
Well, I'm gonna have to practice that name tonight. That way I can get it right. Okay. I apologize that I haven't.
It's real. Well, Ida is the divine feminine. It's the energy that runs up and down your spine. So that should be easy.
So is Aida in Spanish, and Eva and Eve. So I have to, when they taught me certain words in the program so that I wouldn't remember I could remember faces, but not words. I couldn't remember our sergeants, all that stuff, and our lieutenants. Why do you think some of us are talking? Because some people that are brothers and sisters, we still have to activate them. We have to make them remember, like you said, sister, Ada. You have to go within and open your heart chakra. And even the chakras are a program too, guys. Okay, we're more than this. We're more than
correct. So if people focus on their octaves rather than their chakras, it will serve you well. And yeah. So
everything has a purpose.
Expert in it. So I'm not going to sit here and try and act like I am. I just know that just from talking from different people, and 7 Bomar is a huge, I recommend 7 Bomar to anybody that wants to learn some things about chakra systems, etymology, all the stuff that we're talking about. He's amazing. The guy is genius. He really is. And yeah, there's a lot, Veronica, a lot of good, valuable information that you shared tonight. So I hope you don't, feel that I was minimizing or anything of what you were saying.
No, it's fine. It's just people don't know out there,
No, they don't know.
Like Susan and I don't know, Frank, I think you do, but Susan and I would say saw it instead of saw it. Did you hear her earlier? My kids say the same thing. My son didn't know what a tank top was, so he called it a niño because a little boy was wearing it. So to this day, we call it niño. There's some words that we all have. See, I still have work to do. I still have to unlock this vault. Right. And I took linguistics at the U of A. No, I'm just telling people, they label us SMI. They think we're crazy. And we're not. We're fucking geniuses. Excuse me, Frank, I cussed. I'm done.
Yeah, Veronica, you said something about integration, and that's something that I think Susan and I, that's probably why we don't associate with the altar concept as much as a lot of the other assets, is because we've already integrated a lot of our altars. And
But like he was watching me, like I Reiki my food every time I go to eat it. And I've been calling all my soul shards back to me. I knew I had to and I didn't know why. For the last couple of years, I've Reiki my food every time I go to eat it and raise it to the highest possible vibration for my
Yes.
highest good. And I call my soul shards back to me to heal my body and my soul. And I do that 3 times a day. And I think that
Love
was
that.
part of finding Frank, was just, anything you eat, I don't care if it's vegan or, if you're eating meat, just, you have to consume it. You might as well raise it to its highest possible vibration and raise your vibration with it too. And that's something easy because you have to eat. So you have to remember
Yeah,
when to eat. And then we were doing, mushrooms, the lion's mane and cordyceps, and to heal your neural pathways. And we were seeing each other in meditation, and we didn't realize, I thought he was my guide. I didn't realize it was Frank.
Susan, would you mind sharing, or maybe you could send it to me on Messenger, but I would love to know what you use, because I had a flu shot in 2013 that disrupted my neurological system. And I've done everything I can to heal and, get myself at least back. So do you mind sharing the
There's-
products that you use?
I don't mind.
there's groups of superfoods that can help with that. You've got lion's mane mushrooms, you've got cordyceps mushrooms, you've got chaga mushrooms,
Hitachi
reishi.
mushrooms.
Yeah. What was it?
I mean, what products
Mayatakis.
do y'all
That from?
okay, I can show you in my cupboard, Frank. I have so many products that different people, and I'm at the point where I'm using none of them except my zeolite and my ionic balancing machine to pull toxins out, because
Okay.
I've spent so much money on this stuff. Now I know that these mushrooms, I've heard different, I haven't tried them and I would like to, but I want one that I know somebody's already used and knows that it works, because
Yeah. Yeah, because I
yeah.
myself and Susan and both we've used the lion's mane mushrooms, the Mayataki mushrooms, the chaga reishi cordyceps mushrooms. This actually healed me personally, because they had this stuff called K2, and it was like a legal form of marijuana. Okay, but it wasn't marijuana. It was a chemically induced cover that was actually very, very toxic. It hurt people very badly. It hurt me very badly, and it damaged a lot of my neurological pathways, and it actually slowed me down quite a bit. And then I read up on it, because I had to quit doing that because it was going to kill me. I looked at the looks on my children's faces when they saw how sick I was, and they were really worried about me, and I fell apart. Like, I can't do this to my kids, so I better stop doing this. And I did, because it was addictive. So I quit, and I was like, well, how, I can't even do math anymore. What the heck is my problem? And finally, I went ahead and started doing the research into it. And I stumbled onto Paul Stamets and his research with mycelium and mushrooms. And that's when I stumbled onto the lion's mane mushrooms, chaga mushrooms, and red reishi mushrooms. There's several others as well, like the psilocybin mushrooms in microdoses that actually promote neurogenesis, meaning that all of your brain cells and neurological pathways can rebuild themselves, but you have to give your body those compounds in order to do so. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're afraid because they think, oh, well, it's a psilocybin mushrooms. It's gonna get you high and you're gonna freak out in some sort of, mental, trip or whatever. And that's not what's happening. What's really happening is that your body is
about mushrooms,
rebuilding these neural pathways, and it's reconnecting to different aspects of yourself that you weren't originally connected to, because now you're actually using more of your brain capacity. You're using more of your neurological pathways because it's healed all of these damaged, cells that are inside your
Yeah,
brain.
but wait a minute. Are you talking about like mushrooms? Are you talking about like mushrooms that people take, like they get you, like mushrooms?
Yeah, like the
Like people that
psychedelics.
use
Yeah.
in ceremony.
Well,
That,
I'm not saying
okay,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
you should take them like in excess or anything like that, because there is microdosing. People do microdoses all the time, and it's not really
You're
gonna
not
get
gonna
you.
have a trip.
It's not gonna give you a trip. It's you're taking it in small doses to where, I mean, yeah, you might feel a slight head buzz or whatever, but you're not going to be wigging out crazy, having some sort of psychedelic trip.
No, I did them last year, and I also did DMT. I mean, I did a lot of acid,
Sure.
PCP, cocaine. All this shit. Of course, I don't do any of that stuff now, but I will use either marijuana or I smoke CBD occasionally, but I will use mushrooms if for ceremony and to take myself into a different. I don't need it really. I can do that on my own, but it does help me to get a, kind of out of my own way sometimes. But it's been, I don't know, over a year since I've
Well, you called
I
it.
just wanted to make sure that's the kind of mushrooms we're talking about, because I'm like, wait a minute, what is? I don't know
Well,
all the
there's
fancy words for them.
This goes across the board. If anybody does any kind of research into Paul Stamets, he's been studying this stuff for decades. And I mean, he's really deep rooted, gone into the studies of mushrooms and their actual benefits. And
yeah,
but I digress.
I don't know if that's his name, but I listened to one guy talk about all that stuff, Frank, about
maybe the same
like
person.
they were doing. Yeah, maybe.
I got something to add if you don't mind. There's a book that's called Eating for Your 4 Blood Types. My twin flame gave me that one. Eating according to your blood type. I am O negative. I tried being vegan. I tried being vegetarian for 3 months. My hair fell out. F that. I'm not gonna do it. There's a reason. There's the reason why we live where we live, right? The ley lines. So there has to be somewhere where you can what, like for example here there's cacti, there's ragweed, there's all kinds of palo santo, the little things you can eat from the trees. That whatever I have here, I'm planning on making what they call a potion, a serum, or a balm, or a tea. Balm meaning balm for your face, for your whatever, for me. And then if it helps other people, great. But we all have different blood types, and there's a reason why the doctors or whatever, they don't want to do, they have to do the blood draws in the morning. I believe it's before 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. because why? We were talking about this earlier. Our blood changes and it renews. What are you putting, to the public? What are we all putting in our bodies? What are you watching on TV? What are you listening to in your music? Are you masturbating every day? Well, if you are, you're loose from your spinal cord, the kundalini, you're giving it away unless you're doing sex med, which that's another topic for another day. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I was gonna digress to what Vero said a little bit ago, was about altars and integrating altars, because there are a lot of other SSP assets that think that they need to destroy their altars or make contact with their altars so that they kill themselves or something along those lines. And the thing that happens when you do that is you're erasing the memory of the altar, and you're removing all of the connection to whatever traumas that you need to heal. And a lot, this is something that we talked to.
That's a great point right there, Frank.
Certainly.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah. We were discussing this with Johan when we were on Dan Winter's roundtable, and I actually spoke up and made mention that if we don't ever make contact with any of these traumas, which they happened in this life, it's just that it's been displaced in time. So and it's been wiped from our memory through blank slating technologies and certain chemical, aspects that they've used to wipe it from our subconscious. And in some cases, they even used like a higher dimensional being that actually rewrote our subconscious so that we could forget about all these different things that happened because we would expose this stuff. Well, when we start to heal and we start to integrate and we start to touch base with these things, we actually start to have an etheric memory of all these things that have happened inside of this lifetime. And it's in this lifetime. It's not some other distant past life or anything like that. So don't destroy your altars. As difficult as it is at times, when you feel like, man, this is overwhelming, it's gonna hurt me, and I'm gonna relive this experience, and I'm gonna go omega, and it's gonna destroy my entire existence, because you have to do the inner work in order to heal those traumas. You have to, or you'll never become whole. This is part of what every single SSP asset, and I say SSP is a blanket term because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different programs inside of what are called the secret space programs, whether it be MK Ultra, Monarch, Nachtwaffen, Kruger, Solar Warden. There's other striations inside of each one of these programs that stems out into thousands of other sub-programs. And we got to remember this stuff so that we can heal those traumas. We've got to.
I
And
have
that's
done
another
as much.
thing where
Yeah.
they said destroying the altars. You can't kill the altars. That's part of you. You're going to have dark and light. You have to integrate, and then you have to choose which path you're going to walk. That's why I say, we're warriors in the garden right now. We're integrating the dark and the light. If I've got to fight someone to heal a certain thing, some of these things are demonic. I have to go to the dark side and pull my anger so I can be fierce with that thing. I'm not, throwing daisies at it isn't going to help. I gotta pull my sword out and go to town.
That's right.
And that's where you're going to bring your darkness into it. And like I keep saying, walk the middle path, be the warrior in the garden, because we don't know what's going to happen next. And that's why a lot of us have this urge to be really physically fit right now, and be in the gym. I know I do. It keeps feeling like something's coming. We don't know what it is
and
yet.
that's
I
why,
appreciate.
and you guys,
Yeah.
it's so cool because we all wake up every timeline that we've been here. We all wake up at the same chronological order. And I know who you're talking about. He always, he used to tell me, I'm always late to the party, and I'm like, yeah, you are always freaking late. And you always want us to kill our altars, and we're not. And it goes back and forth. It's just amazing. Yes, there is something coming.
And we need those altars, like that show Sense8 that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Those altars are part of you, and we may need to call on some of those altars depending on what kind of situations we're gonna have to deal with in the near future. And I think that's why some people are remembering some, but like we're remembering super soldier memories. So I guess we need those.
Yeah, some of us we remember, working with linguistics, or we were, doing acquisitions, and in some aspects we were engineers, and even bioengineers in some cases, So
we're geneticists as well. We are geneticists. Yeah. There's a reason why we're talking, guys. It's not to put fear porn in y'all's, drawer. It's not. This is why we are here. As guardians of the galaxies, as cops of this universe and others, we are of the 144,000 that are here to save your butt. Okay? And we've talked about this before. This person mentioned earlier. They're going to be so greedy. We're going to save their ass, but at the end, they're still going to be like, gimme more. My name's Jimmy. We already know that, right, Frank and Susan? I don't know about you, Ada.
I don't, Veronica, I'll be quite frank. I don't believe in saviors of any kind, including myself.
We're not saviors.
Yeah.
Okay, but
No,
there
we're
is
just here to
fucking
raise
war.
awareness.
Well,
There's a
bring
war.
awareness and for
Look
people
up,
to
there's a
become
war outside.
aware of who and what they are, right? We're all multidimensional beings. There are some, I mean, you know, we talk about AI. I'll tell you guys, AI has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. This isn't something new at all. I
Correct.
mean, I'm a Pleiadian. I know my body has AI that runs through my body in order for me to be in this reality because of the soul that I behold. And I don't say that in grandiose or, you know, I don't say that with a pompous, like I'm very humbled and pleased to be able to be here and to correct the things that I've done in my past lives that weren't so, you know, I wasn't always love and light, not Ida. And I have to face that and say, okay, what can I do in this lifetime to correct the things that need to be corrected within myself, heal so that I can make better choices my next go, whether it's here or on another planetary system. And that's why it's so important. You know, people talk about reptilians and Pleiadians and the galactic wars. Dan Winters talks about this a lot. And, you know, I just think about, I mean, the Pleiadians and the reptilians, the Dracos and the Pleiadians, there was agreements and what treaties that were made with these beings.
I have a question, Ada. Why are you here on Earth? We know
Not
why
to
we're
say-
here.
I'm not here to save anybody.
Okay, well, we're time travelers. Everybody has a different mission and everybody has different timeline. This is our story that's happening right now. You don't want to be a part of it, that's fine, because you have your mission. Everybody has missions, but please, like, we can't put this is a show on super soldiers. You asked us to come on. We're not here about love and light only. You know what I mean? We're here about everything.
Just
We
because
need to let the
but
public
Veronica,
know.
don't take it. Okay, all I said to you was that I don't believe in a savior program in any shape, not Jesus, not
understand.
you, not me, not anybody.
I'm not
Yeah.
saving you.
That's
I'm
all I was
teaching
saying
you
to you. I wasn't
as an
saying what you were
alchemist.
saying
Listen,
wrong.
excuse me, as an alchemist that we are, we're here to empower one another by helping them, like I said, my channel, Unchained Hearts, Unmask Your Soul, by loving yourself to the point unconditionally that you can trust yourself and not be divided by the stupid thing, BLM, and all this crap that's going on right now. You gotta do you,
100%.
and I'm saying you, meaning everyone. Ada, please don't take it personal. Come on,
Everyone, absolutely. We're
Love
here
you,
to
girl.
help everybody to empower themselves, because the only people that is going to save anybody is you.
Yes.
And when I say you, I mean that's everybody, all the viewers,
People,
every
okay,
single
right,
person
that's right.
for themselves. No
Right.
one's going to do anything for you but you. That's
So
it.
the reason I said what I said, Veronica, and you know, if I offended you, that wasn't my intention. Let me just be clear. So when I had my awakening and I thought of Jesus being my Lord and Savior and all the things that I'm just sharing, when I had an awakening and realized the DNA I hold, who I am as a soul, my past lives, all those things. And I got real caught up in that for a long time. And I had to say, hey, wait a minute, that's not who I am today. Well, that's all, you know, what's the word? Very, I don't know the word I want to use. There's a word, but I can't think of it. My point is I wanted at that time somebody to help me. Tell me what the hell was it that I was experiencing. I want somebody to save me because I was so disempowered. I was being used as a sex slave. I was offered, I have memory of my hanging from my feet, and I looked for somebody to save me because I didn't know how to help myself till I did. That is my whole point. Nobody is coming to save us. We're not here. This is my perspective. I don't think that I'm here to save anybody. What I am here to do is to share my experiences, and maybe I could plant a seed in somebody to empower themselves, to let them know that it's not until we are put in that position where we have to use our power that we know our power, right? And then it's humbling, or at least it was for me. I got humbled real quick realizing that, hey, wait a minute, as much as I thought I was in control of my life and the things that I was experiencing, I was not. So I just don't want anybody to get the idea that super soldiers are here saving people. From my perspective, that's not the message I want to give. If that's how you feel, I'm not saying you're wrong for the way you feel, but I just don't think that that's like saying the military is going to save us. No, they're not. Right. Jesus isn't going to save us. Nobody's going to save us but ourselves. We have to take full responsibility for everything in our reality and what we create as a creator being. And I say that to everybody that's listening to this. You must take your power back, stand up for yourself, think critically, be able to think critically and make choices for yourself. Because otherwise we will continue to give our power out over something outside of ourselves, AKA super soldiers, Jesus, God, Yeshua, Muhammad, Buddha, whatever.
There's a God war going on right now, though, Ada. And I made you guys can listen to it whenever. I called it the God wars. They are playing us as puppets. The gods, which are we are the same as them. And in the Bible, if y'all believe it, when it says the angels are mad at a certain God saying, why the hell should we go down there and help them in their mission if they are lower than us? Well, let me tell you, they're jealous. See, those are the angels from those gods that some people worship here in the AI matrix. There's good AI and there's bad AI.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Okay.
And the whole God war thing, it's all been misconstrued because these are what are referred to as false gods. They are false idols. They are not actually gods. We all are. Everyone is their own God. And I mean, even like it says, I mean, you really want to sit and talk about scripture and go through the Bible and everything. You want to talk about Revelations 22, where Jesus himself says that he's Lucifer. We had this conversation not long ago, Ida. We were making mention of this.
I absolutely agree. I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
But
that's
I don't
my point.
But I don't want anybody to take that out of context either and say, okay, well that discredits Jesus or Yeshua or Yahweh or whatever, okay? Because you're talking about an entity, a being that made a choice within themselves to heal others and help others and raise awareness and give them their own power. And that's right. That's what this whole savior thing is all about. And I think that's what Veronica's saying is that, we're here to save everybody's ass, but it's not that we're here to save everybody's ass on that level. We're here to raise the awareness so that they can empower themselves, so they can become the gods that they can be.
So are you suggesting that what are your thoughts of the being known as Jesus? I'm just curious. Like, so you said that okay, so we had this discussion that he claimed to be Lucifer. I am Lucifer. So is this a deity that one would look up to?
It's somebody who chose to walk the middle path. It's somebody that embraced the light and the dark. If you really look at all of the Old Testaments, all of the old versions of the Bible that were omitted a long time ago, Jesus, or the person that everyone calls Jesus, this is adopted from a much more ancient tale. Okay, we're talking hundreds of thousands of years earlier than what everybody's trying to actually claim. Yeah. This particular individual used to teach the Book of the Dead. That he taught all of those ancient magical, mystical knowledges to everybody so that they could empower themselves, so that they could embrace the light and the dark and find a middle path that actually allowed for everybody to work and live in harmony together and co-create a reality. And that's where everybody's getting caught up is the whole Bible scenario. It was written by a man who wanted women to be subservient to the men. And I mean, take it from a man.
There was a time
right
when the
here.
men were subservient to the women.
Right,
So
right.
but
I
I don't know
the
enough
thing.
about
This
it.
is
Dan
all
Winters talks about it.
certainly, and this is all a control platform. And
Yeah.
and people need to understand that, because they're using the Bible or all these other different versions of the same story, and they're using it like stereo instructions to run their life by. And it's like, this is a reference for you to understand the dark, the light, the middle path, and everything in between. This is not an instruction manual for you to batter, make it okay for you to batter women because it's that's what they did in the Bible. No, history is not there for us to erase and reclaim and say that it was something that it wasn't. History was written in books so that we could learn from the stupid mistakes that we've made in the past and not repeat them again.
I agree, but it seems as though they've had us in a loop for so long. Now that we're breaking out of the loop and we're creating a different, from my understanding, this is the 5th or 6th time that humanity has gone through this, and we've made it this time. We've already ascended. That's already happened.
Because it's gravity, we're here now, and we're here for whatever purpose you all want to do. So everybody has to find their path.
Yeah. Veronica, I want you to know that I love, respect, and honor you. I want you to know that.
I do too. But what happened right now that you did not notice, and we noticed telepathically, and Susan and Frank, when you mentioned the word savior, that is a program used to break us apart from one another and to steer us away from why we are here. So that word is a code word for programming. All right. I'm going to go take a quick 5-minute break. I'll be back.
Okay,
Now,
so wait a minute. No, because I need to be clear about this. I need to understand. So you're saying, okay, well, you mentioned the word savior. So I just made a comment that when she said we're here to save y'all's ass, I just was trying to clear up that on my show, there is no saviors. That's all I was trying to say. I wasn't
It's
trying to
also a
offend
trigger
anybody else.
word.
Huh?
It's a trigger word. It's a code word.
It's a trigger word. That's
it
what
got
I'm trying to tell
I
you.
know. Okay, but
you didn't understand. That's what she was trying to tell you.
Yeah.
It's going
well,
to
I
trigger.
understand now.
like,
I definitely
anger or
understand now, and
whatever
that's
in
why
her.
I'm trying to tell her that I wasn't trying to, because I mentioned my perspective of it, doesn't mean that I was trying to dishonor her feelings about it either. I was just sharing my, so that's it, and we don't have to keep going on about it. And that's why I just told her to assure her that I do support her, I love her, and I honor and respect her. I was not trying to belittle in any way or minimize her feelings about anything. Okay, I was just trying to be clear about my perspective on it. That's it. But I mean, we're saying it's a trigger word. She's the one that said it. And I just responded to it, but now I'm the one triggering. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all on the same page on in the overall. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. We are.
Yeah.
We all have the same message, and sometimes our terminology can get caught up in the mix. And it's
I
just
guess
like
it
the
was
whole.
triggering for me. Maybe I was triggered by it because I went through a time where I was very angry that there was nobody that was helping me. I mean, I called the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, went to the state's attorney's office, talked to my everything. Nobody would help me. I was left to my own to make what I could to make sense of it without absolutely losing my mind.
Well, Veronica, I mean, we've all had this conversation before that, words are spells.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people do not understand is that some of the words in the Bible, like blessing, like Veronica was
Yes.
saying, it's actually be less.
Like dog and God.
Right.
Okay. What I was trying to say, and Susan was trying to tell you too, Ada, is that you just got hijacked by the word savior. So that's why we have to integrate our altars. That's why we have to integrate our altars, because when we integrate our altars, then we are aware of the 111, right? The 4 ones. We are aware that we are guarding our gates. When we find out, oh crap, what did I just do? What did I just say? Or what just happened? We got hijacked to have this conversation. But in a way, I'm glad it happened because we're getting it out in the clear. And clear isn't, okay, I'm closing the portal now. Clear. Let's all get back and be clear. And Susan texted, I try to be clear. Clear. Let's go. Whoever wants to go, Ada, this is your show.
I'm fine. I appreciate what you just said. Listen, when I get off this computer, I will handle my business. I don't do, and I don't feel offended by you. If you feel that, again, if you feel.
You don't understand. I'm not offended. I'm actually happy that this happened.
Okay,
good. This game is a God game, God war game, God, whatever you want. It's the God world mentality. It's the savior game. Every God that's right now playing this game is trying to get us on their team. They got the Jesus team. They got the Buddha team. They got, team. They got the, imagine a basketball court. Everybody's trying to get their man. Hey, you want to be my man? Man, let's go. They're the puppet masters. They're trying to.
Yeah, but Veronica, I appreciate what you're saying, but nobody's puppet mastering me. Nobody.
Okay, well, whenever you have a chance, you're in another altar right now. This is another altar you have. So whenever you have a chance, rewind this whole thing. Whenever you have a chance, this is what.
No. Okay. Hear me out for a minute. I appreciate everything you're saying. I don't consider myself to be an altar. I don't consider myself to be hijacked. I don't buy into it. I've already done this. I've already done the integration, Veronica. Okay. That's why I live a pretty peaceful life, a very loving life, a very kind life. I don't, for myself, I don't give my power away to something outside of me. I'm always in control, whether I share it with you in this way or whether I come to you in a loving and peaceful way. I don't believe that I'm getting hijacked. I don't believe that. I believe that I have the power of myself to choose what I call into my manifestation and my reality. This whole thing started, you said the word savior, and I responded to it. And then now you flip it on me and say, oh no, you were hijacked by the word savior. All I said to you was, I don't believe they're saviors. I don't want people that watch Conscious Art Solutions to think that I'm coming on and having guests come on and that we are saviors of anybody. That is disempowering to me. That's all I was saying. That's it.
Well, Ida, the biggest part of the last part of the segments of your interviews that you conduct, you always talk about solutions,
right?
And finding the solutions and then trying to implement them. And
Veronica and I talked about that earlier. She said, I want to have you come on. We're going to talk about these things. That's where my heart's at, is solution and empowering people. And I don't think there's anything special about being a super soldier. I don't think there's anything special about that. I think it sucks that we were used in projects and programs that we didn't have our own choice. Now, some people would suggest that we agreed to it prior to coming in. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, a lot of us are prisoners of war, believe it or not. We actually came here on an original mission, and we ended up getting trapped in this soul reincarnation trap.
Yeah.
is the gist of it. I mean, it's a lot more detailed than that, and there's probably a lot more to it. But when we talk about solutions and growth and trying to become something more than what we are, when we talk about being super soldiers and how we were psionic super soldiers, and we were Lig Soldaten, and we had all these amazing gifts and powers. Everybody else on the face of the earth has these amazing gifts and powers. They just haven't turned them on. And it's not that we feel any more privileged or any more righteous than anybody else on the face of the planet. It's just that we're just a little bit ahead of the curve, because we were able to learn all of these ancient knowledges. We were able to actually go into all of these secret mystery schools to understand how to implement all of these gifts and use them. And we're trying to empower people. We because they have the same abilities as any other people. Every single person on the face of this planet that wants to embrace and empower themselves and become better than what they are, they can and they will. I had 15 years of my life where there was no growth. My hair did not grow. It was actually 3 or 4 inches shorter than it is right now, and it was falling out. I had like a big widow's peak in that. It was all coming out, and now I got these little twingies that are starting to pop out. I got hair, it's growing back, and my hair's 3 or 4 inches longer than it was. And it was just only a year and a half or 2 years in the making. And it all has to do with, getting in touch, doing the inner work, and getting in control of your own thoughts.
And getting healing.
And getting healing too. But the thing is that a lot of people get so hung up on somebody else needing to heal them, but they have the power to heal themselves.
That's right.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
I had a dream last night. I won't share the specific details of this dream, but there was another woman in the dream, and it wasn't Susan. She kind of resembled Susan a little bit, and there was some sexual activity that was about to ensue. And when this actually started to play forward a little bit more, my subconscious mind had these red flags pop up, because this is something I've been doing. I've been doing all this inner work to control my own thoughts and my own actions, not just in this space time, but every other interdimensional time and space that I myself should be in control of. And my subconscious mind brought my children into the mix. Now, this woman that I was about to engage in something with was actually supposed to be my father's girlfriend in this dream. And what they did was they reversed my mentality to an earlier state of mind where I was like a single individual, where I wasn't involved in any kind of relationship with anybody. So I didn't really think about it until I actually was like fully conscious in this dream state. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then the kid, my son actually jumped into the bed, and I was like, wait a minute, where's Susan? Immediately, there was a fog, like almost a smoke, and the other women disappeared, and I woke up. Like, I immediately woke up, and I had Susan next to me. So it was like, hey, by the way,
I was listening to some of James Bartley's information, because you may find that there might have been, you might be able to put some more pieces together of that experience. That's my point.
Right after that, I was having a dream where this guy was screaming at me, and he was telling me to stop teaching people about the plants of the light and to stop healing people. And I was embattled with him in a sword fight, and I was battling him. So meanwhile, they're trying to get him distracted. So I'm fighting by myself in the ether. And I was still, above board and everything when the alarm went off, so I was doing all right.
And this is part of that targeting thing.
Yeah.
It's all part of the targeting, because they try to exploit whatever weaknesses we have, but then as soon as we start to show them that we're overcoming these weaknesses, then it makes it harder for them to reach us and to actually
Right. That's correct.
damage us at a
Absolutely.
subconscious level. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us in a lower vibrational state of mind so that we cannot co-create a reality.
Right.
And when I say they, I it's the, I guess, the powers that be. There are
Well, there's
other,
definitely entities and energies that
right.
manipulate, but again, I would always say, just like you just said it, Frank, they can't get you to agree or do something when you're at the level of awareness that you're at. Because
Right.
you were able to wake yourself up out of the dream, out of the etheric, being awake in it, realizing, hey, wait a minute, I have a partner, a beloved, my twin, whatever you want to call your divine counterpart, right? And you snapped out of it. And the more you do that, the more stronger you become in that. It won't, those experiences won't happen anymore. They can't get to you that way.
Right.
They'll try other ways, maybe, but they won't be able to get to you like that anymore.
And that's why they want to destroy the divine feminine, divine masculine, because when you see your intimate acts as a sacred union between you and your divine counterpart, or what have you, I mean, some people refer to it as a twin flame or twin soul. It's the same thing. It's just that some of the terminology is being used against us through certain psychological operations to try to emanate control. And when I went to school just about a year and a half ago, or a little bit longer, I had a friend of mine that I was going to school with. He's a little bit closer to my age, because a lot of my classmates in school were all like fresh out of high school. So here I am, this 40-year-old man going to school with a lot of these 18 to 20-year-old kids. And no offense to anybody out there, it's just, I've already grown past that point in my life. But this particular individual was in this mindset where he was a player, and he had lots of girlfriends, and he was had multiple partners, sexual partners, and it was like this constant bragging thing where it was like, a badge of honor for him because he had 4 women that week or 6 women that week. And finally, I just confronted him on it. I was like, how is that working out for you, by the way? And he's like, well, I got drama from this chick who caught feelings, and then this other one, who kind of caught feelings, but I kind of caught feelings. And it's like, why aren't you getting sick of giving your power away like that? I was like, you're a divine being, and you have autonomy over yourself, and you're giving your power away when you're not having a sacred union between you and this other person. I said, when you find the other person that means something to you, you're going to have a higher dimensional connection with this person. And it's going to not just be some level of good sex in bed, it's going to be something more. You're going to have a level of intimacy that is spiritual, multidimensional, and as well as physical. It's not just as simple as just this physical reality, and that's the problem that a lot of people have.
Sacred in nature, right?
What?
It's called sacred in nature.
Right. And when you treat it as a sacred act, if you see it as something that's sacred, then you're not giving your power away to it.
Right.
And there are other entities that don't vibrate on this frequency that are waiting for you to give your power away like that, because they just sit and they just feed on it.
Have to claim your
it's
power.
loosh.
That's right.
Take your power back.
I stopped. I mean, I've been celibate for 4 years for a reason. And when I decide to share my energy with somebody, again, it will be with my divine counterpart, or yeah.
Certainly.
I've had plenty of sex in my life. I'm not, I love the act of sex. I love making love, but it's going to be with, it's
Well,
going to
who
be
doesn't?
going to be a sacred act as opposed to one that just feeds the flesh at this point.
Well,
Because yeah.
I wanted to add that this particular individual that I was talking about in school, it resonated. Like, you could see that it really got his gears turning, because
Yeah.
he just pondered on it and pondered on it and pondered on it, and finally it got to the point where it was just like, man, wow, this really isn't serving me. I'm having nothing but difficulties with intimacy with this person, and I've got all these other people who are fighting each other over it, and I'm fighting with them and they're fighting with me. And finally he actually got together with a woman that he genuinely loves. He has a genuine connection with this person. They have a child now, and it's beautiful. Like, their kid is beautiful. Everything about their relationship is beautiful, because he actually grasped on to what I said, and
Sure.
understood it from a higher perspective, and it raised his vibration.
It's emotional maturity too. I mean,
Right.
I did up until my 40s, like, was, I look for love in all the wrong places. That saying, like, I wanted anything outside of myself to make me because I didn't know how to sit with myself and truly be responsible for my healing and my well-being. And I seeked it outside of myself through sex, drugs, shopping, clothes, eating, everything. And I have taken years to sit with myself and to really do the inner work. So I take, I have to say that I don't know if pride is the right word, but I hold that sacred within myself, and knowing
Right.
that I've taken the time to do that. And I love myself in a way that is I've never before, growing up. So, like what Veronica's doing, going to the gym, when you start investing in yourself in that way, you don't easily give yourself over to somebody, or put other people or things as a priority in front of what's important and what you value. And going to the gym is an act of love for me, and she has been a huge inspiration in that way. And I tell her that. And I love you, Veronica. And I hope that this, doesn't cause any distance between us.
No,
Because
it's
I will
not.
still
People
give
need
you a
to.
big hug and kiss.
Girl,
Yes.
come on, bring it. Give me a hug.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yes.
Darling,
Yes.
all in
Yes.
this together. Y'all come back now. You hear
And
right?
I am absolutely willing to sit still with myself tonight and have a look within, and and recognize, what may have been a trigger for me. I don't know. I'm willing. And that's the part. I'm willing. So I don't claim, I'm not looking to be right, wrong, good or bad. I just want to do what needs to be done so that I can, be the best version of myself. But listen, we've got 1 minute. Everybody say what you need to say so we can close this out, because I have somebody that's waiting for me, that it's been a half hour to connect with her. And because I told her the show would be over at 9. Listen, I love you guys. I so respect you. I'm so thankful that I've been able to connect with you, Susan and Frank, you too, Veronica. You guys are just the courage that it takes for any of us to come forward and even talk about this stuff, especially to people that don't even have any idea or clue that these are real happenings that have, happened in y'all's lives, my life, in your life, Veronica. It's difficult for people to fathom, so anyways, I just want to say I want everybody to feel empowered. I want people to know that they're loved, love surrounds you, and that there is support out there. Contact Susan and Frank, contact Veronica. You're welcome to private message me if there's something I can do to assist you or help you in your journey. I am more than willing to help people to the best of my ability. Uh, and that's it. Thank you for coming on to the show, you guys. I appreciate you. You know, there's never enough time for these conversations, right? We could go on and on and on, and all of us have something to bring to the table. And it's important, right, that we have these opportunities to share with each other and exchange information. And, you know, maybe I say to myself all the time, if I help one person doing this show, then I've served my purpose. And I can do it for 20 years. If I still help one person, I've served my purpose. So, yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Veronica. Before we close, you have something you want to share?
Just sending you all the real true love and not the fake love that they have programmed here on earth. Just letting you know I love you all.
Oh,
May all of you find here and all of us out there
very
and
nice.
all of us out there, because we are multidimensional. We have many, many of us.
Sure.
We become one. That we become one. That is the whole thing of the new age thing. We're all one. Well, they don't understand. We're all one first here, all of us with our altars and everything, and then we become one when we iron sharpens iron, right? When we go and help people awaken or go fight these battles of the mind, the battlefield of the mind, right? That's where I see us collectively as being the one true God. That's just me, though. I feel that we all have a very important role to love one another, to support each other, to contribute to each other with, words, hugs, telepathic healing, anything and everything. Just, you know, you are here for a reason. What is your reason, and how bad are you going to fight to find out who you truly are in this now moment, in
Right.
this gravity? Who are you in the dark should be the same that you are in the light. Thank you all. Good night.
Very nice. Susan, Frank, any last?
We have a Dragon and Phoenix public and private page on Facebook, and we have one on Instagram, and I have a Divine Connections on Facebook, where I have sells my Reiki services and crystals, and also a Divine Boutique and Etsy.
Thank you. Awesome. Definitely reach out to these ladies and to Frank, anybody that's listening, that if you have questions or you want to hire them for their services. I know that you do coaching as well, Veronica. So they can be found on Facebook. I will definitely have, do you have a website yet, Veronica? Do you have a contact?
Negative, not yet. I'm still working on that. Maybe if I get contributions, I can get that, and also the T-shirts, because I've been wanting to do the logo of the heart being enchained and then unchained on the back, and just for people to know, hey, we're here. I am Veronica Bartolini, and if you Google my name or hashtag it, you'll find me. Or if you Google or hashtag Unchained Hearts, that's me. I am a activator, meaning I activate the super soldiers that are here now, or I activate the light warriors, anybody who's here to be a guardian or help save the children, animals, whatever. I'm that person. I remote view naturally. We all do. There's no reason for people to make money and have other people remote view. Help them. I don't know. That's just me, guys, because we all have our abilities. We are here to activate people, their abilities, that to help them to decalcify their pineal gland, and therefore flushing out their heart from any negativity and darkness. You got to embrace yourself. So I'm here to do readings, anything and everything. I go to people's homes and break the hexes and take out whatever ghosts or ghost technology through AI. So I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. Well, again, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming on the show, and we'll have to do it again maybe in a couple months. Some things, we'll see how things are going with your new job, Frank, and you're working out and your amazing stuff that you're doing, Veronica, and we'll see where my stuff goes, and we'll have to come back together in a few months and see, where everybody's at. Of course,
Yeah.
you guys know how to reach me. If I can help with anything, please contact me. Yeah.
I
love you.
also
Thank
I also
you.
have plans to go into business for myself as well. I mean, not it doesn't just include all the esoteric, etherical stuff, but I also make precision instruments. I have built a guitar from uh, the ground up, and
Wow.
I've also done a lot of other guitar repairs and that. I do want to go into business for myself, building my own guitars from the ground up.
I'll be
Uh,
your first customer. Maybe you can build a violin for me because I have my violin, which I love so much, And the one that I had prior to that, my original one, since I was in fifth grade, actually, because I started fourth grade, it was stolen. So the one that I have now, I am very appreciative. It's a copy of Stradivarius, so maybe you can make one for me in the future.
well, I don't know about a
Veronica,
Stradivarius.
if you play music, you're considered to be people that are musically inclined are genius. We're all
The-
genius, but yeah.
Well, I've been playing guitar for over 32, 33 years now.
That's
So,
freaking awesome.
and I mean, I've touched on a lot of other instruments too, but yeah, I do plan for certain
Well,
to go
maybe
into
next time
business
we have
and
the show,
start making
Frank, you'll play guitar for us a little bit.
them.
You know that Susan, she's the singer. She's alto soprano in the
Okay,
Mermaid
Susan, you never told me
Dolphin World.
I used to play bass guitar when we were stationed on Mars. We had our own band there.
I love it. So awesome. Gosh,
I mean,
damn it, I want to
don't-
be a
we
rock
had
and
a
roll.
I was the
too. I
drummer,
don't know
though,
if we should mention
in-
his name or not, but I remember
in
him.
Another
Mars.
SSP asset that we talked to too. Yeah,
I
actually.
love it. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys are awesome. I love you, Veronica. I do. All right. I love you all. Have a fabulous night. We'll get together again. Okay? Yeah. Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everyone.
How do you do that? How do you do? Okay. Did I do it right? Oh,
Had the little heart.
yeah, there we go. All right. Never did it before.